Hello, it's Benjamin Shack here. As you can guess from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about autism today. So this is a major theme in my first book. However, I'm not going to talk about that until about halfway through this video. So I'll put spoiler alerts in halfway through, and then we'll talk about how it presents itself in the book. Beautiful Night. First of all, I just wanted to give you a underlined basic overview of what autism really is and my understanding of it. First, before you ask, I am not autistic myself. I do not know anybody really that has autism. I do not know anybody well that has autism. However, I have worked with autistic children in the past. Therefore, I do have an exposure to it. I do have a basic education about it. So when you're reading my books, you'll come to know the opinions that I can't help but put in my books. I am of the opinion that autism is a gift. It is not a disability. It is not a hindrance. Whatever people want to label it as, in my opinion, it is a gift. People may label someone in a sentence saying, oh, they suffer with autism, they struggle with autism. It's true that autism brings sometimes a struggle in how you behave socially and how you interpret social situations when you come into contact with other people. However, it is a gift, in my opinion. In my opinion, there is no such thing as being disabled. There are disabilities. For example, somebody might not be able to use their legs. Some people might have alternative psychological requirements, and so on and so on and so on. However, I do not believe that anybody has the right to call someone disabled because of one thing that they maybe cannot do. So I am not going to look at somebody that is a wheelchair user and say, you are a disabled person. I'm not able to walk, that's true. What am I not able to do? Can you be a little bit more specific? If you're talking about the chair, I pretty much know and am aware about the chair. So autism is described as a neurodevelopmental disorder. It is to do with the neurodevelopmental system. However, it is a gift, as I said, and it's characterized by a lot of social interaction. So this could be non-verbal communication. It can lead to restrictive and repetitive behavior as well. When it's in an early age, parents usually notice it. I think the average age is about 3 years old. For example, you could have a child, when you come back from the grocery stores, that will continually stack the can of beans or something like that. They have something that makes them feel secure, and they repeat that action over and over again. It gives them a sense of security in most cases. Autism is hereditary, and there are also environmental factors that can cause a heightening of the condition as well. In rare cases, autism can be the product of what some people like to call birth defects. I just call it natural birth. You know, you might be a big believer in fate and a hippie like I am, or you might not be. That's absolutely fine. Whatever you want to call it is absolutely fine. I'm open to every single suggestion under the sun. But I believe that you are born how you are born. That's how fate intended, and you are perfect in every single way. Thank you very much. So autism does affect some procedures in the brain, mainly the nervous system and how they are organised. This is one of 3 different types of autism that is recognised by the Autism Spectrum Disorder. Notice disorder in the word there. The other 2 are Asperger's syndrome, which that is basically a delay in cognitive development and language as well. So that can affect the language acquisition of a child, so learning your language, and obviously the cognitive development as well. And the third is persuasive development disorder as well, and that is the condition when autism and Asperger's syndrome, when it basically falls outside of those 2 descriptions, basically. Okay, so there is not a cure for autism, basic knowledge. When you have a child that is autistic, the best thing to do is to reach out and grab as much help as you possibly can. There are thousands and thousands of organisations probably that are ready to help you, because once you put into place certain behaviours with an autistic child from the beginning, as early as you possibly can, it helps them to communicate a lot better. The hindrance on social communication is relaxed a lot more. So there have been instances and cases where the behaviour patterns of children that are autistic and where people are autistic have been relaxed or been lessened due to systems of behavioural patterns that parents or parental figures or guidance figures have brought into social scenarios and have educated the autistic individual on. There is a widespread community of people that believe, as I do, that autism is not a disorder. It is simply a different methodology of life. It is a different way of looking at things socially, which is absolutely phenomenal if you think about it, because it just breathes life into a whole new different individuality, which is fantastic, and it can only educate other people further, which is immense. So over the whole globe, over 20 million people have the gift of autism, which is kind of incredible in a way, because then that means there is a lot of people that have it, which basically means that we as an entire global community have the responsibility of understanding and accepting and embracing this gift, and we can only do that through education, which will obviously overcome ignorance. So this is the spoiler alert part. Thank you for reminding me, Shak Shak. So genuinely, the crux of autism can affect a lot of things. The main thing that it affects the character of Derek in Beautiful Night is his social skills. You also find very minimal behavioural patterns in Derek that highlight his autism, namely the fact that he finds a lot of comfort in his work, but it's not just his work. His lifestyle revolves around weddings. Obviously, Beautiful Night is named after the portfolio that he has, with many different wedding elements and traditions inside it. When he has it, there is the scene where he rummages through his bags when he arrives in Benin, and then goes, "Oh, thank goodness, I've got it, I've still got it," they put it in my bag. So it is a comfort thing for him. The other repetitious behaviour is obviously his proposals to numerous women as soon as he meets them as well. You would have noticed that Derek's gift also affects his social understandings. So because Derek was raised in foster care, he has not had a very parental figure that is accustomed to the gift of autism. Therefore, he finds it extremely difficult reading other people's social behaviour. For example, when someone is crying, he doesn't understand why they're crying. When someone is angry, he doesn't understand why they are angry. The one thing he can understand is his own emotions, and how other people affect him emotionally, but he does not register sometimes how he affects other people. That just doesn't register in his head. Now, obviously, this is not the case for all people that have the gift of autism. Derek is an extremely individual character, as are every single person, whether they've got autism or whether they haven't. So so I believe that's very important to put that out there. I've had some people ask me, why did you write the character of Derek with the gift of autism? The reason why I wanted to do that is because, like I said, I have worked with autistic children. Their behavioural patterns, although there was some repetitious behaviour, that comforted them, and although there were some slight, minute hindrances in their social abilities to communicate with other students, so some people might just describe them as shy or not very talkative, you could see the look of disappointment on their faces when all the children got to do a certain activity and then they were put in the special needs group, which it hindered their education. They couldn't do what other children could do, which I see as a huge breach of egalitarianism and equality, if I'm perfectly honest. Obviously, people with autism can do everything that people without autism can do. The methodology is just different, and that's what we have to understand and accept. There is a stigma with autism, unfortunately, in this society, because it is immediately linked to psychological disorders. Thus, people like to shy away from the people that do have autism as a gift. And then their social reclusiveness becomes even more intensified, which is wrong. I have been told as well by some people that have read the book that it is not referenced constantly about Derek's gift, which is precisely how I wanted to write the book, which I'm so glad it's coming across as. So we are not reminded of Derek's gift every single sentence. He is just like you and me. He just behaves in a different way, like everybody else on this planet does. It's so simple. He just has a different methodology of processing information and social scenarios, like everybody else does. There is not that much of a difference between autism and individuality, and that is probably really controversial for me to say it, but that's the truth. Well, my truth. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I believe that someone with autism should not be treated differently to people that do not have the gift of autism. Simple enough, right? For example, Skylar's sister, she differs from Derek. She has very matter-of-fact speech, which some people with the gift of autism do have that behavioural pattern in their verbal voice. It is a very matter-of-fact tone. Derek does not talk like this. Derek talks how Derek talks. Derek acts how Derek acts. Derek gets into a lot of situations where it doesn't matter whether he has autism or not. Derek has autism, and in the first chapter, he saves Carol from some muggers in London. If Derek didn't have autism, in the first chapter, he would save Carol from some muggers in London. There is no difference. But anyway, the purpose of the book is to entertain and read a story. If you happen to come across an inspiring message in there about people that have the gift of autism and you do feel something, or if you feel inspired by the story to do something to raise awareness of autism, please do, because it is an extremely important topic that should be educated, not just in schools, but in the public sector, everywhere. It should be just educated everywhere. I'm speaking from self-experience when I was at school. So I did not have a very good education under the topic of whatever topic autism would come under. I guess that topic would just be how to be a social apt person, but there we go. So if you know somebody that has the gift of autism, brilliant. Continue doing what you're doing, educate yourself on the matter, and show them that they are different from everyone else, because we are all different from everyone else. I'm different from everyone else. You're different from everyone else. They're different from everyone else. Everyone is an individual. So by being different to other people like us, they are the same as us as well, if you get my philosophic hippie meaning. If you did not know too much about autism, I really hope this video did help. What you need to practice is patience, understanding, and how to embrace the things that make us different. Because once you do that, you are going to be such a happy person, honestly. And I really hope the book helped as well. So if you did have any questions, guys, or anything that you wanted to say, feel free to get in contact. There's Facebook, Twitter, my website. I'm going to put everything in the description below, as per usual. I'm also going to put the links to the book. And as I say all the time, it's all in ebook format to save our friends here. So we've got it in Kindle, we've got it in Nook, we've got it in iBooks, and we've got it in Kobo. So please feel free to look it up, download it, and have a fantastic adventure with it, guys. Okay, that's pretty much all from me. It's pretty much all from Shaq, although he doesn't say much. So enjoy your reading, guys.